Okay, looks like we're up and running. Right, welcome everyone. We are almost there in terms of Tier 4 White. We're at Blue Moon today, round 7 of the Season 17 season. We're at Blue Moon, which is a pretty short lap in terms of lap time and length of the track. There's a nice long straight on an oval section, which then turns into a very tight and twisty infield section, which really favors the cars that can take those medium to low speed corners pretty quickly. Hello, Anto. Nice to see you. We've got 16 drivers on the grid tonight. It took a while to find the replays, but got there in the end. So let's go through the grid. These guys already know where they'll be racing next season, so I can cover that off as well. Just in very short, we've got an extra tier. There was way too many Tier 4 paced drivers at the end of last season, so a lot of Tier 4 drivers that competed towards the front in this Tier 4 and the other Tier 4 got nice promotions up into Tier 3. So we'll see how they get on next season. But we've got Falcon lining up in last place in the Ford GT, which isn't the best around this track. So not really a surprise to see him struggling there. He's going to be Tier 4 next season. Jez has been promoted to Tier 3. He's in the Viper here, and this is not a good car for this track either. But you might be able to get some good overtakes done on this oval section. Munkin, who stays in Tier 4, is in the Lexus, lining up P14 next to Matthew, who's currently second in the championship. Got a nice promotion to Tier 3. He's again struggled in the Viper round here. Rocket in the old GTR is 13th, followed by Bluebeard, who I think is on his debut, in 11th here in the Aston Martin Vantage. Then we got Charizard in the Citroen and Khan in the Renault. Then we got NTO in the other Renault. These guys all going into Tier 4, so it makes sense with the qualifying today anyway, that's for sure. They've got Hulked, who's been promoted to Tier 3. He's 7th in the AMG. Monty, who's been promoted, he is in the Lexus in 6th. Udale is staying in Tier 4. He's managed P5 in the Supra. He's good at qualifying, and he needs to try and convert that today in the race. O'Leary's been promoted. He's P4 in the Beetle. Nice to see the Beetle back in the top 4. Then we have Bendit in the NSX, which is really good off the start. He's lining up 3rd, next to Zelda in the Toyota in 2nd, and Shadow in 1st. So everyone who I just mentioned, P2 to 4, are all promoted to Tier 3. Shadow's actually been promoted into Tier 2 this season, and he could potentially win the championship with a round to spare tonight. It is looking very good for him to get maximum points, at least in the sprint race, with Matthew struggling all the way down in... well, outside the top 10 in 13th there. So let's get going with this sprint race and see how everyone gets on. 5 lights on, round 7, 14 laps for the sprint. And we're up and running. Looks like a really slow start for Zelda, even with the slow starting Toyota there. Let's ride on board with it. Him, he's already dropped down to P5. O'Leary and Dykstra also getting past at the start. He's going very wide into turn 1. Everyone manages to get round all right. Udale a bit wide. He's down to 7th as well in the Supra. Monty trying to recover from down in 8th place. And there's been a spin. Dykstra's completely been spun around there, and he's at the back. Let's see what happened to him. So he got a great start up into P4 in the AMG from 7th on the grid. And yeah, he just goes to the right, not seeing that there was a car there, and spinning it into the wall. I think that's a bit of an unforced error, to be honest with you. You have Bluebeard and Rocket make a little bit of contact there. Jez is going to try and get past Munkin here, but he's boxed in with the other 3 cars all around him, so he's not going to be able to do much into this lovely little hairpin where a lot of people just look like they outbraked themselves there, but an incident was actually avoided somehow. Bluebeard and Munkin still battling into this next double left-hander, very slow in terms of speed. Now we're going to this crucial corner here where you need to try your best not to hit the wall. Looks like Bluebeard has hit the wall. He's going to lose position to Munkin as a result. Rocket's really close behind as well. Looks like Rocket got a good exit from that final corner. And Jezza in the very fast Viper is going to maybe try and take advantage. He's not going to be able to. Munken's going to get past Bluebeard already. The Aston Martin is not great on a straight line. Rocket's going to try and get him into braking, but a really late brake there from Bluebeard completely cuts him off on the entry into the corner. He's going to get a chance on the exit though, because Bluebeard slides a little bit too much before he could get on the throttle. And again, really aggressive on the entry for Bluebeard. It doesn't work out for him that time. He gets ricocheted, I suppose, into the wall. Let's see what's going on a bit further up. We've got O'Leary putting some pressure on Bendit. Looks like Monty was getting a move done. Let's go a little bit further back. We've got a nice little battle between everyone. Looks like Udale goes wide into the barriers even. No damage though, just going really slow. So Doslayer gets past. Monty's going to get past as well. And there's Matthew trying to take advantage as well. So this could be 3 positions lost. Really good corner there from Matthew. Almost lost a bit of traction on the exit. But let's go and ride on board in this battle for P2. We've got Bendit in second and O'Leary in third. Both of them trying to get some good results on the board for the season. And they've not let Shadow completely get away so far. It is only the end of the second lap though. And yeah, it looks like Bendit has a bit of breathing space for now. Let's see if anyone else is closer any further back. Charizard in 9th, trying to catch up to Udale in 8th. These guys almost 2 seconds off. Khan maybe thinking about a move late on Charizard. Charizard leaves the door open, and yeah, not much Khan could do there. He keeps having to lift off the throttle, and Charizard's going to keep that position going into the next corner here. Really tricky corner. Looks like Munken's pretty close behind, ready to take advantage of anything that happens as well. And everyone's kind of spaced out again. What about O'Leary and Bendit? Looks like there was a little bit of a move there. I think O'Leary's going to send it. And he backs out of it, but he goes a little bit deep into the corner anyway. So Bendit is going to create a bit more of a gap as the lap comes to an end. A bit of breathing space potentially. Beetle is good at these low speeds, that is for sure. I think it's a bit better than it used to be since the update. So if you're thinking about wacky pick, I think Beetle's proving it can actually compete here. He's gaining again on Bendit coming out of the final corner, is O'Leary. But he's going to have to settle in. I think the Beetle still struggles for top end speed, which is why O'Leary's progress, despite a great exit, just completely stopped there. What's going on outside the top 10? Rocket and Hulk's recovering from that opening lap. He did have good pace in quali. He's still outside the top 10, but it is within reach. So if something happens in these next 11 laps, we could see Hulk's at the front of the feature race. But no one's really having any moves at the moment. O'Leary again starting to catch up to Bendit as soon as we get into the infield section. Not as close as he was last lap though. And this is where O'Leary went a little bit wide. He nails the corner there, hits the apex really nicely, and stays very close to Bendit. Now, we're getting towards slipstream territory, and also Shadow is starting to get caught a little bit here. NTO's got the fastest lap down in 4th place, so he's not actually that far away from this battle. Bendit getting a much better corner there. O'Leary's going to lose a lot of time coming out of the final turn of the lap. NTO is in the Renault, which is very good at low speed and low speed acceleration. It struggles once it gets up into the reaches where it is now. That's when the other cars start to show a little bit more pace compared to it. The MR car's really struggling with turn 1 as well. That's something worth pointing out, because they struggle with the transition from the banking to the track, which is quite a sudden and sharp change. Look at that, NTO going purple again. Zelda with the fastest lap currently down in 5th place, not even that far behind. So these guys a little bit further down are really keeping everyone honest. The top 5 all pretty close together as it stands. O'Leary's nice and close to Bendit again, and Bendit has completely caught Shadow. In fact, this whole group has caught Shadow. Shadow's lap times, yeah, he's going to set high 1 minute 8, and that is why he's getting caught pretty quickly here by Bendit. So the win for Bendit isn't out of the question here. Shadow's in an MR car, so it will struggle in the entry into turn 1 as well, which might help Bendit catch a little bit more. O'Leary's really close behind as well. Then a bit of a gap. Monty's actually joined this pack as well, so we're going to see a fastest lap here from Monty. Let's see. He does set the fast lap at 7.8. So all of a sudden it's a group of 6. The top 3 have a bit of a gap though. NTO has a tiny bit of work to do here. O'Leary's just set his fastest lap, which was 3/10 quicker than NTO's on the previous one. And it looks like O'Leary's got a great run here. And this is what Shadow will want. He'll want O'Leary to start putting pressure on Bendit so that he can try and get away again. Bendit a little bit on the grass there. His line's compromised into the next left-hander. And he's a little bit wide around that corner. O'Leary's the closest he's ever been. Now he's going to get some dirty air. He's going to nail the corner. Bendit hits the wall. This should really open the door for O'Leary. O'Leary needs to get in the slipstream. Here he goes. He's got the inside line for turn 1 as well now. But it's going to be a drag race, and the NSX is a little bit stronger. Well, I say that, but O'Leary's still pulling alongside him, so maybe not. And Bendit shuts the door beautifully there, keeps P2. So O'Leary's going to have to try again. Shadow's created a bit more of a gap now. NTO's down in the 9s now. Oh, a little bit wobbly through sector 1. Doslayer's right up the back of him, and Monty's not far behind either, although I think Doslayer's going for it into the hairpin. And he goes deep into the corner. This gives NTO a chance to get the position back. And they're going to go side by side into the next corner. Looks like Zelda has the position sorted up as long as he can get a good exit here as well. And he does. So that's the position for Zelda. Getting it an important part of the lap. He can take this corner normally now and get a better exit from than NTO. So that's going to increase the gap again for Zelda, and he might be away here. O'Leary still very close to Bendit. Let's see what these lap times look like. A 7.9 for Shadow, and 8.8, so over a second quicker than Bendit on this lap. That's pretty huge. The gap had really shortened, and all of a sudden Shadow's looking quite comfortable again. I think there's been another position change. So Monty taking a really wide entry, definitely only FR cars can do. And he gets a great exit. He's already alongside NTO going into this next corner. Looks like he's going to get the move done fairly comfortably here. NTO trying to hold it around the outside, nearly goes onto the grass and has to surrender that position. There is a huge gap back to Matthew though, who might be at the head of a little train here. The Viper, very difficult to overtake. But he is losing a bit. Oh, NTO's in the wall. Let's go. Let's see. Misses his braking point massively there. And that would have been a good result, that P5. But he's going to have to get onto track pretty quickly. There is... Yeah, he's now P10. There was a big gap down to Munkin as well. He's got damage on his car, but at least he's on reverse grid pole right now. Something's going on down here as well. Looks like Hulks and Falcon having a little scrap, as well as Rocket. Hulks keeping P12 for now. Now he's got some good slipstream here, coming down the straight. Hulk's not going to be benefiting much from slipstream himself. Falcon's going for the move in this Ford GT. Look how quick that is. And he's going to get hulked as well. Looks like Munkin was a little bit dodgy coming out of the banking. Falcon's going to get that position on Hulks, and Rocket's going to try and follow him through potentially. Everyone's line's going to be compromised into this corner. Hulk's a little bit deep. And it looks like Falcon's got a little bit deep now. They're still side by side. Rocket's going to try and get both of them on the inside into this next corner. Falcon's going defensive as well. Are they going to go 3 wide? Rocket backs out. Falcon goes deep. And Rocket might get the position anyway. Oh, there's been some contact. And Hulk gets through again past Rocket. They're still side by side. You can't really be side by side at this corner because your line's going to be compromised. We've also missed a swap for P2, so let's see what happened here. So everything looks normal coming through Sector 1. And Bendit just loses a little bit of traction. O'Leary gets a fantastic exit there. And it's going to be a pretty straightforward overtake by the looks of it for O'Leary. And now he's free to chase down the victory here. So let's join back where we were, because O'Leary's starting to catch Shadow. Shadow's last lap was a 10.1. That is a bit of a disaster if you try to win yourself a race here when the fastest lap is in the 7s. It has gotten completely dark now. We've got 4.5 laps left, and O'Leary's taken his time, but he has got past Bendit. Shadow doesn't look to be the quickest driver on the track right now. Even without whatever that last lap was, that was in the 10s. It's not the tyres. It can't be the tyres. It must have been a driver error. Oh, and O'Leary's in the wall a little bit there, so that's going to kill his momentum. Then you can see Bendit is closing the gap already, but it's not going to be enough. With some... Oh! Matthews hit the wall there. Udale, Charizard, Khan. Oh, what's happened with Khan? Okay. He's he gets a really aggressive lag spike here. So he gets knocked down maybe 5 seconds and behind NTO now. He's still in the top 10. He's got a huge gap down to Dijkstra, who's under pressure from Munken, who's been overtaken by him in the last lap or two. Now is he going to go for a late move? Both break pretty early there, but Munken goes deep and Hulk is going to take that position back pretty easily, and Rocket's not going to be able to get close yet. At the front, it's looking pretty tight now. Shadow's last lap at 8.9, so a much better, but still a couple of tenths slower than O'Leary. Now O'Leary needs to avoid the wall. There's been an incident further down. I think it's Udale. So let's see. He's got a bit of a run now on Matthew. Matthews, like I said, has been very difficult to overtake with mistakes from everyone else. He's got himself into the top 6. Udale's gone for a very late move there, completely misses the corner, and Matthews swipes through. Then he's off track. So is NTO going to be Charizard? Sorry, going to be able to get through? Yeah, he makes a bit of contact and then just completely backs out. Anyway, I think Monty and Zelda are getting pretty close now as well. See what Monty can do. Can he catch up to that Supra in the slipstream? Maybe have a go into turn 1. Not quite. And yeah, Zelda gets a nice exit there. A bit further up. O'Leary's fallen back a little bit from Shadow, and Bendit is now catching up again. The top 3 completely broken away from Zelda and Monty, by the way, who is trying to move around the outside, and didn't get much of a cut back there because he went too wide around the corner, so that helps Zelda survive. Zelda under a lot of pressure here, goes wide himself. Are they going to go side by side into the last corner? They're not. That was a good exit from Monty. He was slightly alongside. Now the Supra's got the overspeed, and that might help Doslayer survive. He's only got 2 more laps to go. And they're trying slightly different angles through the corner. Doslayer a bit wider there, but again, slightly better corner. Let's see what's going on at the front. Top three separated by just a second, it looks like. O'Leary really having to think about where he places his car. His tyres are slightly more worn than Bendit's are right now. Bendit gets a much better corner there. O'Leary's going to have to defend into this next one. And O'Leary brakes really early for the corner. Oh, little bit of contact, and Bendit gets the move done. So, what can O'Leary do? Can he try and get it back on the exit of this corner and on the very long main straight? Looks like he's got a bit of a run, taking a wider entry through. He's not benefiting from the slipstream doing that. Bendit already going ultra defensive. And he goes for the bump draft as we head into the final lap. That might have been one of his only opportunities to get an overtake done. Tighter exit again from Bendit keeps him ahead. So time is definitely running out now for O'Leary, who's just lost that P2 having been there for such a long period of the race. Bendit looking a lot more comfortable, and this battle has definitely allowed Shadow to completely gallop off into the distance once again. And yeah, it's not looking promising there for O'Leary. It looks like he's falling back with every corner. So let's join Shadow as he comes back onto the oval for the 14th time, the final time in this sprint race. He's going to take yet another win and march ever closer to that championship victory. So another win for Shadow. Massive congrats to him in the Citroen. Then we have Bendit and O'Leary in P2 and 3. Zelda ahead of Monty at the end, whose tyres are not looking too hot right now. Charizard managed to get past Matthew in the battle further back. So there is P6 for Charizard, 7th for Matthew. Khan in P8. Then we've got NTO 9th, Hulked in 10th. And then we've got another big gap. And Jezza is going to come home in a comfortable 11th. So the first driver not to score any points in this race. We have Bluebeard just getting a little bump at the end there to take P12. Munkin's going to take P13, and Rocket is in P14. And then another little gap, we've got Falcon and Udale in 15th and 16th place. And that's your lot for the sprint. Let's go find the feature race. If I knew what to look for, it would help. So, there it is. Right, let's see what tyres everyone is starting the race on. So you've got mediums for the front guys, Khan's on the hards, Monty, Slayer's on the hards, Shadow's on the hards. It's a good mixture of hards and mediums. No one's opting for the softs to start with. We might see softs a little bit later in the race. But anyway, we've got Hulked coming into turn 1. It looks like Khan's already getting overtaken there by Matthew. Matthew trying to move down the inside. Khan's have to go the long way around. Khan on the hard tyres might have some poor traction on the exit of the corner here, so Matthew is going to get enough alongside to probably get this move done. Khan still trying to hold it around the outside, holding it incredibly well actually, keeps P3, and that's going to back Matthew up into this huge group of cars behind him. Let's see if anyone's going to try and move. Monty really close to the back of Charizard, who's already going defensive here. Is everyone going to make the hairpin? Looks like so far so good. O'Leary and Bendit having a bit of a battle again. Bendit's kept ahead of O'Leary for now. O'Leary's sending it. And not as good of an exit compared to Bendit. He needs to tuck up behind and get a good line through this corner. Oh dear. What's happened? Yeah. That could have been a good race there for Doeslayer, but he's not done well at all there on the first lap. Nice little battle between Rocket and Munkin. And then a little bit further up, we got O'Leary getting overtaken by Bluebeard here, having a great start in the Vantage to this race. He's worked his way up back into the top 10. Monty and Charizard going a little bit side by side. Monty's in the wall. Bendit might try and get a move done on Monty now. O'Leary's trying to get past as well. And that was a good exit there for Bendit to keep that position. What's going on a bit further up? NTO and Hulks are driving away a little bit here from Matthew, who has got past Card eventually. So he's up in third. And are we going to see a Viper train like we did in the last race? We might not, because Khan is a lot slower on these hard tyres. Charizard's the next person who's going to have to try and get past him. Really careful through there though. Might actually open the door a little bit for Monty. Monty's also on the hards. This is a good start for Monty being at P6 on the hard tyres. Shadow on the hards is just overtaken Bendit, who must have hit the wall on the exit of the corner, because through comes O'Leary as well. So that's 2 positions lost for Bendit. He's down to 10th, but he is still on the hard tyres, so again, it's not the complete end of the world if you're only planning on doing the one stop, because these people will have to overtake you again. A little bit further up, looks like Charizard and Monty are having another little scrap here. Monty looking really quick on the hards. Yeah, a bit of a dodgy exit there for Monty is going to put off that charge for now. Gap between Matthew and Khan is probably 2 to 3 seconds at the moment. Let's see how he takes the corner. Pretty good. Khan avoids the wall, Charizard avoids the wall. Looks like everyone's avoiding the wall pretty nicely. Look at O'Leary though, he's got a great run on Shadow. O'Leary on the softest compound, so should get a move done. He is closing in as well. Is he going to be brave on the brake? Shadow's going to have to be a lot more careful coming into here. And O'Leary's absolutely sending it. Shadow's going to try the cut back. And O'Leary looks like he's got the move done. And he can start to drive away. Potentially. Oh, he's trying to go around the outside. That's not going to work. You know, that was very brave. And I'm surprised he only... well, he maintained his position, but Bendit trying to get past him now as well. Bendit's on the hards. Shadow's on the hards. Something's going on a bit further up. Looks like Charizard and Khan are having a scrap. Charizard is trying to get past Khan again. Now let's see if he can get a good final corner. This seems to be the one he's struggling on. Khan getting a much better exit there. Almost perfect. And yeah, I think a bit more work on that final corner next time we're at this track, and that it'll gain some of these guys like half a second to a second, to be honest, in lap time. Khan's just lagged back again. So this really good start, being the first guy on the hard tyres, and all of a sudden he's just appeared in front of Bluebeard, who's going to try and get him on the inside of this corner. He's going to try and hold it around the outside. Yeah, I think he let Khan have that. Charizard trying to defend from Monty. There's been a bit of contact between those, and Khan's going to try and get past both of them. He's going for Monty now. Oh dear. Everyone survived that as well. That's crazy. O'Leary's going for a move. So let's see this. Got 2x2. Khan completely overshoots. O'Leary gets the move done on Bluebeard. Actually, Bluebeard gets an insane switchback there to keep P6. Khan's back on track with some damage. He's dropped behind Shadow. Bendit's trying to get past as well, but not having much luck here. So it's been the lap from hell for Khan. He's dropped 5 positions. And he's in the wall there. So let's make that 10. He's got damage all the way down the home straight as well. Let's see what Shadow could do. He's fallen behind O'Leary. O'Leary's not... Oh, Bluebeard goes completely wide. O'Leary goes wide as well. This is good news for Shadow. Well, now he's stuck behind them, though. Yeah, you can see how much time it's costing him. What's going on further forward? Hulk with the fastest lap, an 8.6, but then he's set 2 laps in the 10s. So he's only, well, yeah, he's struggling to match that time. I reckon this will be 2-stop for Hulk and for NTO. You can win on the 2. I think if you've got good tyre management, the 1-stop is probably optimal, and if you don't, the 2-stop is optimal. Bit of a better lap there, a 9.5 for Hulk, 9.8 for NTO, 9.9 for Matthew, and Charizard a 10.1. So yeah, the top 3 really driving away now from the pack, which is good news for them when they come in. Potentially fewer drivers to get stuck behind. Shadow and O'Leary look like they are side by side once again. And it looks like Shadow let O'Leary back through, so potentially... Oh, and O'Leary's just immediately gone wide and handed the position back. I think they've swapped positions 3 or 4 times there. So Shadow up to 7th, and this is again bad news for O'Leary on the mediums because he's stuck behind another hard-tired car. Matthew doing pretty well here, I've got to say. Lapping very consistently in the 9s, the high 9s, but NTO and Hulk have been in the 10s, even though they've set fastest laps. .1 for the first time for Charizard. What's this going to be for Matthew, sorry. 10.1 as well for Charizard. 10.1 as well for Monty, and a 10.9 for Bluebeard. Under a lot of pressure now from Shadow. He's got some damage. He hit the wall on the exit of the final corner. This is going to be P6 lost to Shadow, who's making some good progress. And is he actually going to get this cutback done? Is he going to make the corner? He's going to get overtaken once again. These overtakes that Shadow's doing are several corners in the making. O'Leary just punts Bluebeard, but avoids any damage. I think he slammed on the brakes as well, because Bendit might overtake him now. Bendit trying to get into the corner first. And he gets the position. Good overtake there. So the hards must be fairly equal in performance at the moment. Bendit gets a really dodgy exit from that last one. That was an interesting final corner. O'Leary couldn't really push on the exit. I was thinking Khan might have got a better exit there and been able to get an overtake done. He does get a better exit. He's closed nicely up to O'Leary. O'Leary's sticking in the slipstream. Now he's boxed in. Khan's going to potentially try and get him, and oh no, he backs out massively into the corner and gifts the positions back. Shadow's starting to drive away from Bluebeard. Charizard still holding up Monty. Charizard on the mediums and Monty on the hard, so I think this is good for Monty that he's so close, and he is the highest placed car on hard tyres here. But I'm sure he would appreciate being able to lap in the 9s again. His tyre wear's pretty high actually. This might have to be a 2-stop for Monty. Great exit there for Monty. He's definitely got a run on Charizard now. It is completely pitch black apart from that tiny bit of light that you can see in front of Monty. Is he trying something around the outside? Is he going to try and cut back here? I think he got on the throttle slightly too early and then had to back out of it again. And a move around the outside is audacious. I think he's going to get it done and dusted there, as long as he can nail this next corner. Ooh, well, I wouldn't call that nailing it, but it's still somehow enough to keep P4, and Monty can try and catch the top 3 now. He's having to go defensive here. Very late braking from Charizard, but perfect braking actually. And he's going to get alongside for the next corner as well. Don't know if Monty can hold it round. He can. Side-by-side action for 2 corners in a row there. That's fantastic. And that should be a bit more comfortable for Monty now. Shadow and Bluebeard have caught up to them with all that battling that's been going on. So I wonder if Charizard's now going to get out of the way of his teammate, or if he's going to try and fight for position. I don't think team orders are really necessary considering the lead that they've got in both championships actually. Looking bad. Oh, everyone's taking very different lines through turn 1, but they all make it through. Charizard's going pretty defensive here. Shadow's going to try and go around the outside. I think Charizard just bails, but is he going to bail a little bit too much? Oh, there's a penalty as well ahead. Yeah, Bluebeard gets through, but more importantly, Monty, after getting that overtake done, he's got a half-second penalty coming up, which might lose him a position or 2, especially if you mount the corner like that. That is not how the quickest line through there, for sure. Now it's been increased to a whole second. He might lose all 3 positions here. This is looking suddenly quite dire for Monty, especially with Shadow. Guaranteed an overtake here for Shadow. There's the second being served now. There goes Bluebeard. Charizard's going to go through. O'Leary's not actually too far back. He could follow through as well. Let's see how this gap reduces. Monty's trying to get back up to speed desperately here. And I think Monty gets away with it and he keeps P7, but that is a costly lap there for Monty. A 1:13.7 on that lap. After working so hard to get up those positions. Charizard now under pressure again already from Monty. Also, O'Leary's going to probably go for a move here. He's lined him up really nicely. And Monty a little bit wobbly on the exit, but keeps the position well. He kept his foot to the floor. These medium tyres are definitely going off now. NTO is actually the first person to come into the pits. So, and he is in the top 3. Let's join him and see what he does strategy-wise. So his mediums were pretty dead. He could have maybe got a lap or 2 extra out of them. This is a definite 2-stopper. So he's going to have to get a lot of overtaking done. He's already dropped outside the top 10. He's putting in a pretty decent amount of fuel here. So this might be another medium stint and then maybe a soft at the end. He's put in, oh, okay. He's put in a full tank. That's going to drop him a lot of time, but it means that he's going to be able to put in less fuel in the next pit stop. Oh dear, and already he's come out into some trouble. Munkin going into the wall there on the exit of turn 1. He gets the position without losing too much time. And Jezza is a little way in front of him, so he doesn't have to worry too much about that. Let's see what's going on a bit further forward. Charizard looks a little bit all over the place. He's going to lose the position of Bendit. O'Leary in 8th, Khan in 9th. And it looks like Khan is going to try and get O'Leary here. So O'Leary really struggling now on the medium tyres. Now, like I said, you can't really go side by side into this corner. They make it through, but they've both lost a huge chunk of time to all the other cars because of the compromised line. O'Leary, is he going to come in? He's going to continue staying out. No one's actually come in by the looks of it from the lead group. So NTO is on a completely different strategy to these guys. He has gapped Munkin by quite a way after overtaking him at turn 1. So we know he's going to have some pace here. Really needs to be setting the fastest lap on this lap, does NTO. He's on, oh, well, he's on the hard tyres, so potentially not. 8.6 on the hards is a tall ask, to be fair. So yeah, O'Leary's struggling a little bit on this medium stint. I think he might be happy to get off these tyres and potentially try and get some clear air, because he's been stuck in traffic this entire stint, not able to make his way through like some of the other boys have. Notably, Bendit up into 6th, Shadows up into 4th. He's lost a position to Bluebeard though, so Bluebeard doing well on these incredibly dead mediums. He needs to definitely pit on this lap. He's got a little bit into the wall by the looks of it. Hulked into the pits now. Bluebeard is carrying on. This is not advisable. He is not going to make the end of this lap. I think we might want to stick with him, because I can't see him making the end of the lap without spinning with tyres that worn. He's obviously, I think, trying the one stop here and worn out his tyres a bit more than potentially he did in practice. There we go, there he is into the wall already. So there's one position. There's a huge queue of cars behind. He's gone wide at the next braking zone. There's another one. Bendit, you could hear he had to back out of it there. Is he going to make this apex? He is not. He's missed it by several meters, I would say. But he's still ahead of Bendit, he's still ahead of Charizard, he's still ahead of Khan. Now, the final corner, he just needs to avoid the wall and dive into the pits now. Well, he doesn't avoid the wall. He does get a nice little bump, unintentional from Bendit. So he's going to go into the pits. And where did Hulk come out? Hulk has a little bit of traffic himself, but Falcon... Well, actually, Falcon's not coming into the pits. So this is important for Hulk. He needs to overtake Falcon and start taking advantage of these very fresh medium tyres. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. How was that? What on earth was that overtake? Let's see from Falcon's point of view. So he's just braking. He goes a little bit wide. And then he gets terrified out of the way, I think is fair to say, from Hulk, and Hulk's up to P8. He's got a bit of a gap now to Rocket, who he could try and catch up to. He put in less fuel as well than NTO, who's on his hard stint. He's lapping in the 12s. He did a 10 and a 12 actually. So yeah, he's made a mistake on that previous lap. Let's see, anything else going on up here? I don't think so. Matthew's got a massive lead currently. He's coming into the pits now. So this has worked out really well for Matthew. I think he's going to go on hards until the end. Shadow's going to stay out for a good while longer. Still lapping in the 9s there. That was his quickest lap of the race. So the hards really coming into their own now. Monty in P2 now. Bendit's in 3rd. And then we got Khan, who hasn't pit. Had that little lag spike back a few places earlier on. Rocket, whose hards are not looking too hot, he's in 5th place. Hulks, who's just coming out on his 2nd stint, has caught up Rocket pretty quickly, and he's just diving it through there. And yeah, not much Rocket could do anyway, even if he wanted to fight that one. They got Zelda, who still hasn't pit. He's just ahead of Falcon. Falcon's still out on these mediums, quite impressive. Yeah, not actually putting Doslayer under too much pressure. Jezza still waiting to come into the pits. He's down in 9th. NTO has caught up to him now. NTO's going to remake a few positions. Remember, he was in the top 3. He did put in a full tank of fuel, and other people were putting a lot less fuel, so I'd be surprised if he makes it back up there before the last few laps at least. But this is looking pretty good. He had the pace in the sprint as well, but had his incident. Jez has taken a very wide line there, and surely Jez is coming into the pits. No, he stays out. He stays out. It's hard. Still have a few more laps in them probably. I think NTO might be a little bit frustrated. He just set a really good lap there at 10.6, so his quickest lap since coming out on these tyres. Completely messes up turn 1. So with that, let's see what else is going on. Monty's starting to get caught by Bendit. Bendit lapping in the 10s. Yeah, a little bit quicker there than Monty. And that's because Monty's tyres are very, very dead. That's why Shadow's starting to build a gap as well. Much better exit from entry into that corner from Bendit. Some good slipstream that he's got as well. Doesn't get really close enough to go for a move unless Monty leaves a huge door open. Falcon's in the pits finally off of his mediums. Did really well to keep that pace consistent on those dead tyres. Monty's struggling through some of these corners, but Bendit's actually not closing the gap really. Khan and Hulk's pretty close behind as well. Here's Hulk's catching up quickly to these guys, and you can see Monty going incredibly defensive there into the corner. Everyone's starting to make little mistakes here in this battle, and Hulk can't afford, like I said, to be held up too much by these guys. He's probably racing them for position because they all have to make one more pit stop. Yeah, definitely lost some time behind Khan here. Who's coming into the pits? Looks like none of them are coming in. So this is some more pain for Hulk. Bendit considering a move, not really close enough once again. He takes a much tighter entry into turn 1 than the Lexus does. But both of them get the exit pretty poor, and somehow Hulk's got the position. Oh, that might have been a penalty if it was reported to the stewards. Just potentially, or it could have been lag. Khan has been a little bit laggy today. Now, here's a great run for Bendit. Monty's not able to go defensive like he did on the previous lap. Bendit's going to send it. And a great exit for Monty. Keeps the position. Hulk's really close behind these guys now. So they're battling. Has probably cost them an easy position here to Hulk. Yeah, this might be another one here. Unless Monty comes in, his tyres are pretty dead. I would be recommending coming in, but I don't think he can because he's trying to make the one-stop work. Khan has come in, as has Doslayer. Good little overtake there. I don't think there was much Monty could do about that at all. So, crucial. Oh, and he's gone wide. That's going to be Bendit finally getting that position. Luckily for Monty, Khan's not behind. Khan's already come into the pits. Matthew's on his hard tyres. We think he's one-stopping. So he's potentially in pole position for the race win here. Because he's the highest of the guys who pit. He doesn't have to pit again. NTO isn't too far behind. He does have to pit again, I'm pretty sure. We'll have to wait and see. Mediums for O'Leary. They're already moderately worn, but he's putting a bit of pressure now on NTO. let's see how they tackle the... Oh, O'Leary's the one that goes into the wall this time. There's a yellow flag out for someone. Not sure what happened there. Rockets come into the pits though. I think someone at the back is potentially... Hold on, let's... I don't know, man. There was a yellow flag. It looks like it's Monty. Okay, here we go. What's going on with Monty? He decides to go... Oh no. He's got engine damage as well. You can't reverse, it's going to reset you to track. You definitely can't reverse into the pits. I think he knows that, and he's decided to try and carry on. That's brutal. He's got a dead front right, he's got engine damage. He's going 160 kilometers an hour down the straight. He's been overtaken by a huge number of people who have already made their pit stop. And let's see how much that affected his turn one. He's lost 5 seconds here, and he lost, what, 19 seconds on the previous lap. So that's 24 seconds he's lost with that error, plus whatever he's going to lose just having a shocking tyre and dirty tyres as well. Anyway, something's going on up here. NTO and Matthew having a nice little battle. O'Leary in the mix as well. O'Leary needs to get past these guys to make his strategy work. Shadow's in the pits. I wonder if he's going to get overtaken by... Well, if Matthew's going to keep his P1 here. We've got NTO and O'Leary who could potentially stay ahead of Shadow as well. Here he comes, O'Leary in, and out comes Shadow as well, and O'Leary has to get out of the way, makes a little bit of contact with NTO. Shadow comes in behind them on his fresh medium tyres with half a tank of fuel. And everyone's still line astern. Everyone's started taking the corners very well, actually. After all this pressure, NTO's thinking about going defensive. No one really goes for the move. Oh, Bluebeard's gone for it and gets past Shadow with an audacious move there. Oh, that was a little bit of a push to pass, I reckon, on O'Leary. And Shadow's going to let O'Leary keep that so that they can all take the corner properly. O'Leary goes deep anyway, and yeah, what a disastrous few corners there for O'Leary. Bluebeard is now going to try and get NTO. This Aston seems to have some sort of enhancement on it or something, because it's getting past cars pretty easily. And there's another one. He gets past NTO on moderately worn hards. Actually don't think NTO is going to be pitting again. Who is going to pit. Dykstra, who is currently in P1, is not going to be able to get to the end on these medium tyres. I think we need to do a tyre check here. So he might go on to the softs towards the end. Bendit is about to make his pit stop any moment now. I'm sure he's probably going to come in now, actually. Someone's in the wall. Oh my. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. So there's 3 positions lost. He's got a bit of a gap down to Doeslayer, but he's going to go straight into the wall here again. So there's Doeslayer getting past. Khan potentially too far back now. Khan and Charizard down in 9th and 10th. Bluebeard's going to rejoin. He's going to have to pit again before the end as well. Anyway, Shadow's now putting some pressure on NTO. So let's see what NTO is going to do. He's going to put up a fight here. leaving the door open. No, he's just let it past. Might lose another position now though to O'Leary, who's recovered well from that disaster lap. Bit wide there for NTO. O'Leary trying to get alongside, but he's in the wrong position for the next corner. Yeah, and NTO can cover that off well. NTO going defensive already for the next one. He really doesn't want to give up that inside line. O'Leary's thinking about going for it. Brakes for the corner. So we got a nice little battle heating up between the top two in the championship now, as Bendit finally comes into the pits. Matthew hits the wall, Shadow hits the wall as well. Shadow is on the softer tyres and the fresher tyres, so you'd imagine this should be fairly straightforward for him, but like I said, overtaking the Viper's not a straightforward thing to do. So it's his fastest lap, does Shadow, at 9.1. Down the grid, hops Bendit, but he looks like he's come out in 7th. That's a pretty good position to carry on for the rest of the race. Let's see what tyres he's on. He's on the softs as well. So this is going to be an exciting end to the race for Bendit. He's going to have a few laps now where his tyres are far superior from everyone else's, so he could get himself into the top 5 and try and manage the rest of the race from there. O'Leary pretty close to the back of NTO, and Matthew having to defend again, goes deep through the corners. Shadow's going to try and pull alongside. He can't though, because Matthew gets a great exit. Now they both hit the wall on the last lap. They both avoid the wall this time around, and I think Matthew's going to start to drive away a little bit now. Dykstra is going to have to come in again, but he does have a massive lead right now, so I don't know what it's going to look like. He's flashing his lights, I don't know why, because he's about to lap cars I suppose, but yeah, he does definitely have to make that extra pit stop. And just going, yeah, Matthew's just going through turn 1 now. Shadow couldn't get a move done there, and now he's going to be stuck behind Matthew for the next infield section again, because that Viper is so hard to overtake. Then we got, oh, Bendit's gone for it on O'Leary already, so he's already got 1 position, and he's got the overspeed on NTO, and he's flashing him to be like, get out of the way. O'Leary's thinking about getting the move done as well, so through goes Bendit. Unless NTO tries to get this position back. They are racing for position for the rest of the race, so you don't want to make it too easy for the guy on softs, because you won't catch him at the end. But through goes Bendit. Shadow's still stuck behind Matthew as we predicted. Hulk is continuing to go on his very dead tyres. He's still lapping in the 9s though, so he's doing amazing here. O'Leary's come in for his 2nd stop, so this is going to be a pretty poor result for him potentially, because he was only in, I think, P6 when he came in. Shadow still stuck behind Matthew. This is great news for Hulks. And surely he's coming in now. Munkin in the wall. That's going to be an easy overtake for Dykstra. We've got NTO who's come out of the pits. He's in 8th now. Into the pits comes Holt. Where's NTO? NTO's come out behind Khan. No, something's happened to him. He did a lap in the 13th. He's lost a position to Khan there, so he didn't even come in the pits. That's just him dropping like a stone down the order. I won't rewind to see what happened. So this is potentially going to be battle for P1 or not, because look, Hulk is out and he's already in P1 on the fresh soft tyres. Matthew going defensive against Shadow here into the corner. Who's going to win this? Shadow's trying to take more speed around the outside, and he might have got that done, you know. So there's P2 for Shadow. Hulk is still a comfortable P1. I think it'll be almost impossible for him to lose it from this position. So the only guy at the front trying the two-stop, and it's worked out very, very well for him. I think these guys losing way too much time fighting each other, all going for the exact same strategy. Doslayer's done pretty well here. He's in P4. Bendit's in P5 on his softs, trying to catch up. He's still got some good life in his tyres. He could still get a podium potentially if he looks after them. You have Bluebeard in 6th, but he's another one who's not going to last till the end of the race on this compound. Yeah, the one stop's very impossible for him. Let's see if he comes in or if he's going to risk it and do. Yeah, looks like he's coming in, so he's going to come in for the softs. That will promote Khan up to 7th now. NTO is in 8th. Then we have Charizard ahead of O'Leary on the soft, who's just got past Rocket, so he's been promoted to 10th. And he'll get past Bluebeard in the pits now. So O'Leary has to have a mega last few laps, and he could still potentially bring home a good clutch of points. Got a great exit there compared to Charizard for turn 1. Charizard blocked him off pretty well, but then just went wide and gifted the position to O'Leary. Now Charizard under pressure from Rocket. And Monty's here as well. So Monty recovering from his engine damage and hitting the pit barrier. Ooh, saves it. Shadow, meanwhile, has yeah, he's 2 seconds a lap quicker than Matthew there since he's overtaken him. So, where is Hult? Hult is overtaking, putting laps on cars pretty comfortably here. So he's not, unless something happens with these lapped cars, that's probably the only way that Shadow can get a win here. Hult has been incredibly strong, his pace has been super good. Definitely justifying his promotion to Tier 3 for Season 18. In fact, the top 5 currently in this feature race have all been promoted to Tier 3. Matthew coming under pressure now from Zelda and Bendit. Remember, Bendit's on these soft tyres. They're about 50% worn now, but they're still going to be superior to the cut tyres on these two guys. Pretty worn mediums and very worn hard tyres, so 3 different compounds as well. Matthew going defensive. Viper's good in a straight line. Actually, all 3 of these cars are good in a straight line, so it kind of equals out. Through goes Bendit, absolutely sending it into turn 1. Couldn't get on the throttle quick enough. Doslayer keeps the position for now. Matthew getting a really good run out of that corner to stay comfortably ahead. We've only got 3 laps left. Can he hang on? He's been in the podium positions pretty much the whole race, doing the medium to hard strategy. Oh my goodness me. That was... okay, no harm done. But yeah, Doslayer stays close to Matthew there. And he is a bit closer coming through this final corner round the oval section. And he's going to get the overspeed. He's going to be able to send it because Matthew's left the door open here into turn 1 this time. That was a good overtake. Is Matthew going to be able to do anything on the switchback? No. So that looks like a podium on the cards for Doslayer. Anything happening a bit further back? O'Leary's challenging NTO for position now on his very fresh soft. Looks like he's into 7th. Rocket and Charizard going side by side as well. And Bluebeard trying to get through on his fresh softs. I think we might see some audacious moves here for Bluebeard. Charizard going defensive as well. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and there's an easy position there as well because Charizard was a little bit out of shape, so Bluebeard up a couple of positions on his soft tyres. Bendit's now trying a move on Matthew. His tyres are pretty worn. He's going to be really slow on the final lap, that's for sure. So he wants to try and get ahead of Matthew before that happens. He's putting a lot of strain on those very worn tyres, but he gets the position. So up to P4 now for Bendit. What can Matthew do? His tyres are pretty much equally as worn as Bendit's, but Bendit's might completely go off in the next 2 laps. Meanwhile, Dykstra set the fastest lap of the race, 7.8. He's been lapping very, very consistently on these softs, but they are starting to get a little bit worn. He does like to flash cars very early on that he wants to overtake them. They're a bit too far ahead, I reckon. Yeah, another 9.1 there. 9.0 for Shadow, lapping really solid. 9.8 for Zelda with his overtake. 10.2, 11 flat for Matthew. 9.9 for Khan. Anyone else in the 9s? Doesn't look like it. So yeah, let's give him a lap of honour here. He's lapped quite a few cars in this race. He's been the only one to do the 2-stopper from the front of the grid. Managed to create a good lead in P1 at the start of the race. All the way up to his pit stop. Looks like he's avoided mistakes until the very last lap where he goes off track. But I think he'll get away with that. His tyres are very worn. But yeah, medium, soft ends up being the winning strategy today. And I think this might be his first ALR win. Pretty sure it is. So huge congrats. Good, solid performance in your first season in ALR. Taking the race win. Shadow in the Citroen's going to take another top position. Not the win this time, only P2, but I'm sure he'll take it. I don't think there was anything he could have done, to be honest, with the difference in the starting positions. Doslayer, a solid podium for him. Bendit, a good P4. Matthew, solidly in P5, considering he spent so much of the race at the end on slower tyres to everyone else. Khan is going to take 6th in the Renault. If he's going to make it there. Is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? What? He's not going to make it? He still gets 6th ahead of O'Leary. That was 0 style points. ATO in 8th in the end. Bluebeard is 9th. Surprised he got 9th with all the trials and tribulations. Charizard and Rocket still having a drag race, down for 10th and 11th. Charizard wins it. Monty's in 12th. Jez is going to take 13th. Falcon 14th. Udlay 15th. And we had a DNF, who I'm not sure who that was. So yeah, that's your lot. Thanks for watching, guys.